I'd like to introduce you to Anchor.fm, a free tool for creating and distributing a podcast. Now, there are lots of educational podcasts, and primarily they are created to encourage, help, and inform teachers. I think you should consider having your students create a podcast. Now, you don't need to create a podcast that goes on forever and publishes an episode every week. That might be a little bit too extreme. But you could have your students publish a 3-episode podcast on Mesopotamia, or a 10-episode podcast on the Greek and Roman gods. You can turn podcasting into a class project that would replace a video project, a poster, a website, just to mix things up. Podcasting is very popular. If you publish your podcast, it would be playable via Amazon Echo or Google Home just by saying, Alexa, play the Greek and Roman God podcast from Mr. Sawash's class, or something like that. Anchor is a tool that takes the stress out of setting up your podcast. It's very, very simple to use. I'm going to switch over to my account and kind of walk you through how we're doing this. I've got a show in progress here. So you'd come into Anchor. Now, you, the teacher, would create the account, and then as you set up the show, you would designate certain students to help write the description, upload your podcast image, upload their episode, publish their episode. So you're going to kind of create a class account that you will all use together. Not every student won't create an account. So you'd go and create your podcast. You'd fill all this out, name, description, category, things like that. You're going to need to come up with some cover art so that people can see your show and understand what it's about. You'll fill all that out. And then Anchor is going to take that information and is going to syndicate your show to all of the most popular podcast destinations: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcast, all the popular places that people consume podcasts. You don't have to do anything. You just put the information here, and Anchor takes care of the rest for you. Now, here is where we'll go to create a new episode. So there's a couple things you can do. Anchor does provide some recording and editing tools. Personally, I find their editing components a little bit challenging to use. It's not full featured. So I personally record my podcast using some different tools. I'll do my editing in Soundtrap, which I've previously reviewed, and then I'll take my finished file and import it right over here on the right. Once that episode is up, we can look at them. So here are my current episodes that are kind of in draft form at the moment. So we can go here, we can listen to it, give it a description, and then publish it when we're ready to go. Anchor's, again, a very simple tool for publishing content that you have already created. If you're interested in podcasting, but you thought, I don't know how to do it, I don't know the technical ins and outs of podcasting, Anchor will walk you through. It's a very simple, very easy tool. I would highly recommend it.